It's good to see all of you again. You know, it is another Monday. It is Relationship Monday, and what we try to do is get all of you to understand the importance of social relationships. Kojics, I'm sorry, not Kojics, but I said Kojic because I was with a Kojic church yesterday. Erase that. What I wanted to say was religious folks, Christians, especially the Pentecostals, in whom I have worshipped with for many, many, many years. And my guests today come up under the Pentecostal construct. Pray our strength in the Lord. But the thing about the talk of relationships didn't happen actually. And when it did happen, Mother Mayhem was in our bedroom telling us not to do this and not to do that and not to do this and not to do that. And we took it. Some of us took heed to it. Others of us rebelled against it and had the most amazing sex with our mates ever constructed. All right, because we kept Mother Mayhem out of our bedrooms. Today we want to talk about this thing with dating a struggling man or poor man. What is it with that? Because today's women are different than the yesterday's or yesteryear's women. At least that's what I've been seeing. A lot of the feministic ways are definitely different, and a lot of women are not dating, and I mean not marrying today, and they're looking for a particular man. And statistics are showing that most women who look at dating apps, they are dating the same man. They're looking at the same dude. Where the rest of these guys, well, there's no hope for them based off of their appearance. Men usually, look at dating apps and they see this woman, and of course, they want her based off of her outward appearance. Then when they get to know her, Lord have mercy. Now he's trying to run because he fell in love with that beautiful face. And in my book, I talk about this girl called Lilith and Bella. They have the same outward look. They're very beautiful, but inside there's this core in her that frightens men. Well, today we want to bring up the financial state of a man. All right, how does that change the trajectory of dating or even marrying a person? Men who are struggling, are they really considered a sex appeal to a lot of women out there who may have things, who have money, who have a lot of women don't really need a man for the financial part, but they just want a man for the loving part, the caring part. And I want to find out from you all in the comment section, what do you see in these men? And even though the subject is about struggling men, I'm going to play a Olivia Alexa who's going to tell y'all her truths on struggling men and how attractive they are. And I want to know from my guests if she agree with it or not. Buckle up, y'all, because this is going to be quite a ride. I'll see y'all in 60. Bass.
It's the show that will get you thinking, and where the topics are hot. Feel free to comment whether we agree or not, cause he's got something to say. Sirwalterj Jones. Sirwalterj Jones. He's got something to say. Sirwalterj Jones. Sirwalterj Jones Show.
Come on in. The water's fine. Do. Hello, everybody. Sirwalterj Jones Show. I'm here. It is the midday connection, baby. Come on in, y'all. The water's fine. I see all you bunkers are joining in here, and all of you who are outside of the bunker sphere. Thank y'all for coming in here. I want to see from y'all what's going on. It's midday. It's around 1:30 in the p.m. Central. And if you're at work, hopefully you're at lunch and you'll be able to check this out. or if you're watching the replay. Today we're talking to our guest, Angie D. Lee, who comes every other week to talk to us about that which is, relational. The good, the bad, and absolutely the ugly. Today, we'll get ugly, I guarantee you. I'm going to bring her in right now, our dear friend, our beloved friend whom we've known for many years. Angie D, how you doing?
I'm good. I'm good, Walter. I feel like I should have dressed up a little bit.
Yeah, well, yeah, you didn't know I was going to be as debonair and dapper as I was going to be. My bad, my bad. So yeah, Angeli, you had a good day, by the way.
I have been having a good day so far. Thanks
Okay.
for asking.
How's the business going?
Really good.
Yeah.
Really good. I cannot complain. I'm just glad to be in a position to help people.
Good,
So,
good, good. Well, that position is a great position to be in. So many people definitely are needing your help. Karen, thank you, Karen, for the super chat. There are definitely a lot of people who need that kind of help from all walks of life. It doesn't matter what color they are, what race or culture they are, what religious stand they are. Everybody, I believe, is to the same level when it comes to relationships. Do you agree?
yeah, we're all learning out here. And I think the sooner we recognize that and we understand that, we can understand our partners a little bit better. So,
Yep. We can understand our partners. Yeah, no matter what your walk of life is. So the struggling man. We're gonna play this video here and see if you can unpack what she said because she said a lot, and I know you're gonna be as true and fair and as balanced as you can possibly be. All right. Let's see. I'm gonna pull up the whiteboard here. All right. This lady name is Olivia Alexa. She's got about 65,000 subscribers, but when she put this video up, 564,000 people liked it. I'm viewed it. That is, they viewed it, and 41,000 liked it. That's a lot of people who liked what she said. On the right hand side, you'll see the many comments that came in, good, bad, and again, and ugly. All right, let's see what she had to say. Let me plug it in first.
Hi, guys. 9 times out of 10, the things that are often overlooked are exactly where your attention should be. We're in a social media world, a world where everything is visual, but the funny thing is, a lot of women are still so blind. They see the dollar signs, the status, the lifestyle, all of which are attached to a man that's not worth her time, but that's exactly who gets all of it. See, what you don't understand is the same man that you look down on because he was working a 9 to 5, regular guy, out every day grinding to make it, is the same man who would have treated you right. But you overlook the person you should have seen. And that's the case with so many women. A person will show you who they truly are when you have nothing to offer them. When you have little to no benefit to offer is when you will see what a person is truly about and where your relationship stands. A lot of women neglect the beauty of dating a struggling man, but that's where the foundation of trust is built. The loyalty, the commitment, because he's not trying to win you over with any money because he doesn't have it. He's going to win you over with effort, consistency, and that comes with respect. See, you only value and respect something that you had to work hard to get. He understands the sweat, the long days, the living paycheck to paycheck, the goal setting, working overtime just to take you somewhere nice, etc. That's where 90% of the time the guy with wealth falls short. He has no respect for you. He didn't put in any effort with you. He didn't have to work to build a foundation with you. He simply bought you. To him, you're just another prize on the shelf, something to pull out when he wants to play with it and throw back when he's done. That's what most wealthy men do. They buy things because they can, not because they need it. Hell, sometimes not even because they want it, just because they can. They're more intrigued with the fact that they can buy you instead of actually being intrigued with you. To him, you come at a monetary cost, and he can buy 1,000 more of you because you come a dime a dozen. You're nothing special. But with the struggling man, your love was bought with authenticity and genuineness that was built on solid ground, and that's the beauty within the struggle. So until the next video, I'll see you guys later. Bye.
That's a lot.
it was.
Now, there's a lot of problems there too.
Hmm.
One problem is, and let me ask you, Is she a stereotype?
Yeah. I mean, you know what? Anytime you have a video where you're talking in absolutes,
Yeah.
that's always going to get people riled up because obviously we're not, all the same people. We don't all, like you said earlier, we're not all from the same walks of life. We don't have the same experiences. So I take videos like that with a grain of salt. I
Hmm.
feel like there are some truths in that, and then some of that is subjective, maybe
Yeah.
based off of her own experiences.
Hmm.
So you will find that a lot of times in videos like that, people are typically a little biased, and it's very hard for people to be objective in situations like that. That comes with a certain skill set, I think,
Yeah.
and life experience to know how to be a little bit more objective.
It seems to me that she attacked a man who was wealthy or who's
Mhm.
well off.
Mhm.
Notice when she spoke of the man who's got things, it was completely negative, as if there were no men out there who's got some money who's going to treat a woman right. Did
Yeah,
you hear that?
and that's a good point too. Yeah, actually, I saw it in her body language, and her facial expressions and her tone of voice significantly changed once the topic of wealthy men were being addressed. So a lot of times we kind of tell on ourselves a little bit if we give people the opportunity to just sit and listen. We will share in our own way how we really feel.
We did. She did tell on herself. She's a very attractive woman,
Very.
but I see an issue of colorism in the black community because of her very high yellowish, very light skinned woman, compared to you being a darker skin with more of an Afrocentric look. All right, and they will put the both of you together and fight. Okay,
Yeah.
fight.
Yeah.
And I look at the colorism with the same meaning to a man who's poor and a man who has some things. They put those two men together as well, and it for him it doesn't matter what he looked like. It's all about his bag. So she negatively brought up the man with the bag, but the man who's struggling trying to get the bag, she praised him. But could not the man who don't have the bag could be just as bad as the one who has the bag
Yeah.
because he's trying to manipulate or lie his way into her heart by saying he have things? Help us out with
Yeah.
that.
That's a good point that you brought up. A comedian that I must admit out loud that I am a fan of is Corey Holcomb, and I know a lot of people are like serious,
Corey,
but no,
yeah.
I do like his brashness. I guess that's just something that I enjoy. But I really enjoy people just sharing whatever their truth is, and that's typically what he does. He does it unapologetically, so I respect that,
Mm-hmm.
which is why I like him as a comedian. But I brought him up because he mentioned in quite a few of his stand-ups, and even on his videos about how when he was struggling financially, a little bit more struggle back in the past, he would live with certain women and
Yeah.
tell them what they wanted to hear, so that he had a place to live, so that
Yeah.
he would have money, so that he would have access to a car. And he did not have the financial means of a very wealthy man at the time, and he said he did what he had to do to make it work. Now, I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm just saying that in his position, he was still being manipulative.
Yep.
He had a goal, and he knew that these women would buy into him if he told them certain things and how he told them certain things. Tell him he loves them. Tell him he'll do this and do that. And yeah, he was seen as that guy. He's a good guy to them, but he was not a wealthy guy. So that again, it's always those exceptions. That's why when talking in absolutes, that's pretty unfair because every situation is different.
That's good. That's a good point that Holcomb brings up because I too was trying to act like I had things and I had nothing. And I didn't have what the old folk would say a pot to piss in. Okay, I didn't have it. So when I was dating back in the '90s, um, or the early 2000s, I was lying about my financials, situation, so that I can get her. To the point where I became what y'all call a hobosexual. I became that homosexual. That's why I can talk about it as much as I do. Needing somewhere to stay because I had nowhere to stay. All
Yeah.
right. But I was promising things, which is one thing that I tell men stop doing. I stop making
Mhm.
promises. Don't do it. I'd rather you just do it and don't make the promise. Yeah, because when you promise her something, she's gonna be looking for it for every day. She may be looking for that thing to happen.
Exactly.
Yeah, so
Even
don't
in
promise.
committed
Yep,
relationships,
even
I,
committed.
I
Yep.
would definitely suggest
Mm-hmm.
don't do the promise.
Don't make the promise. Make let your deeds show what you
Exactly.
do. So Holcomb is correct. So what this woman said. There's some twists and turns and ambiguity here, and like you said, a lot of truths, but unfortunately, she was generalizing. She was bashing men who got a bag,
Mhm.
a good bag. The pretty much bashing him, and highlighting and praising the man who's struggling. Yet, um, it could go the other way and backfire. Could what she said have led many women to that this point here? I mean, because she was quite convincing.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I don't typically read comments a lot,
Mm,
just because, a lot of these comments have a lot of negative,
absolutely.
undertones, and just a lot of,
Hmm.
fighting back and forth. And honestly, a lot of people just, commenting based off their own personal experience. So a lot of times, to me, sometimes the comments aren't, um, really, I don't want to say valid. It's their truth, but it's not mine. So I don't get wrapped up in that. But I did happen to see a few of the comments and where, some women were co-signing, what she had to say. And then the opposite. I mean, so, I do believe that when you are unsure of yourself, when you're still learning yourself, when you kind of lack a certain level of emotional intelligence, videos like this can sway you, but they also can lead to the opposite effect where you get like really riled up,
Yep.
you want to fight about it and, and,
Hmm.
and make a big deal. So, yeah, I would say this can definitely lead, especially a lot of younger women, like I said, or women that just aren't really too sure of themselves, can lead them down a path where it's like, that may have applied to certain situations, but not all. So don't go into every situation thinking that every wealthy man is evil
Yeah.
and every poor man is good.
Yeah.
So it could be flipped.
It can be flipped. Absolutely. E. Allen says it's not a money thing. It's about who the person is at their core. I've met wealthy angels and broke demons.
Yeah, for sure.
Expound on that.
Well, I
You
think
do?
it's just kind of like what we were, talking about before.
Yeah.
I've when we think wealthy too, like I mean, I guess that's all subjective to what people consider wealthy. But I would say, people that are, really established, financially. Um, let's just say money is not a huge stressor for them. Is where I'm going to kind of see wealthy. So when I think of people like that, I've seen a lot of giving wealthy people that are just so happy that they're in a position to be able to help someone that they're like, listen, you need it, I got it, cool. It's I'm not I'm not here to hoard all of this. I can't take it with me. I want you to be happy. I want you to do what you need to do. There's plenty of people like that in the world. But then yeah, when you are at the bottom of the barrel, or you feel like you have nothing to lose, or you feel like the world is against you and you have nothing, you'll be amazed what comes out of
Mm,
a person in that position. So
mm,
yeah,
mm.
I definitely align with that statement.
Yeah. No, that's good. Roger says the young lady in the video needs to revisit the word struggle in her
Mm,
next dissertation. Is struggling with homosexual tendency, is struggling with child pornography, struggling versus building are two different things. Struggling
yeah,
versus building.
yeah.
All right, and I see where she's going here. My
Mhm.
father gave good wise counsel about a poor man trying to go out there and date and what have you. So he was trying to get us to have something when we were young, so that when we did find a woman, we would be at least established already
Yeah,
with something. And if she
yeah,
wants us, she can have us. And if she don't want us, she'll just walk away. She wants someone maybe more wealthier than we are, but at least we had something. And
mhm,
doesn't mean that we had to have a car and we had to have a house, but we had to have some kind of stability. and we were working on getting those things, but she could see that the we were climbing the successful ladder. So I could, he could be in school, he could be in college, working his way to get things. And so I think a woman with a pure heart would see a man who doesn't have a lot of money, but she sees what he's doing, and she can go back a few years to see where he was and see where he is now. I think can that be an attraction to a woman who sees one day that man is getting ready to make it?
Yeah. And like I said again, emotional intelligence plays a huge role in this first and
Mm-hmm.
foremost
Mm-hmm.
because, you know, first of all, just being attracted to a person. I mean, you need to be attracted because if you're not attracted, I
Yeah.
really don't care what they do.
Yeah, I don't care what they do, how much money.
Right.
Really, yeah.
Yeah, you like whatever.
Yeah.
But if you are genuinely attracted to a person and you have, I would say, a decent amount of emotional intelligence, and again, it's all about growth, like you said. So the goal should not be perfection, but more so about the growth. So if you
Mm-hmm.
can look back over time, whether it's a few months, a few years, and you see that, yeah, they are not where they used to be. Now, they may not be at necessarily six figures right now,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
but they went from starting a business, they were making 25 a year, and now they're at
Mm-hmm.
50.
Mm-hmm.
That's huge growth. And for
Yeah.
people that really, understand business, value business,
Mm-hmm.
understand how this works, and the ebbs and flows of it, just life is like that. So if you have someone that has that emotional intelligence and can understand that you're taking the necessary steps and they can see the growth, yes, that is highly attractive.
Highly attractive.
Highly attractive. Yeah.
Because it can go the other way around. A man could be
Yeah.
looking at a woman too, who's he's not looking for a woman who just her whole life is this one
Yeah.
straight line.
Mhm.
He's looking for growth as well. Do you think that our generations have changed though? The perception of what we may consider generational wealth. Is it different from your parents to who we are now with our children today? Because
Yeah.
back then they my parents were kind of, to us they were poor.
Mhm.
To us they were poor, and they just kind of made it until they had built stuff together. When he found her, he was poor. When she found him, they were poor. All right, that's and so they build. Is it looked too differently down today with our generation?
Yeah, I think every generation, we see these differences occur because I feel like, and I can't compare my situation to everyone's, but I feel like with my generation, I came in at a point where a lot of families were, in a sense, starting to crumble a little
Yeah.
bit. And that unit of, parents staying together
Mm-hmm.
no matter what, that was starting to change because you had a lot of baby boomers that were like, okay, I'm doing my thing. I'm gonna
Mm-hmm.
start doing me. And we saw the rise of latchkey kids,
Yes.
and we saw a lot more divorces, a lot more women having a lot more financial opportunities and opportunities to go back to school. And so we saw that transition, I think, starting to occur in my younger years. And so that definitely played a role on how women are viewing relationships, how they're viewing men,
Mm-hmm.
what they feel like is important or what they value. So yeah, I definitely feel like over the years, and the generations, they have definitely shifted big time. Yeah, and it plays a huge role in who we are,
Mm-hmm.
based off what we saw, growing up. Yeah.
In your line of work, have you come across, and obviously confidentiality plays a
Mhm.
part here. Have you come across any clientele where it was about the money struggle?
Yes, that is definitely a hot topic
Mm-hmm.
that comes up
Mm-hmm.
often. What I do find too is when I get clients at the beginning, before I start working with them, they kind of approach me like, we're just trying to see if we're going to still work this out or split up. And I find that as a sign of the times too, that we're going into this already knowing that the option to leave
Mm-hmm.
is there.
Mm.
Whereas you look at other generations, um, it's like, no, that's not what we doing. We go. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, if we still got issues, we got issues, but we stay together,
Mm-hmm.
But like, they're coming into it trying to even figure out if they're gonna stay.
Wow.
Yeah. Mhm.
Coming into it.
Yeah.
trying to figure out if they're going to stay. Um, so I'm trying not to get too personal. With you, Angie D. Lee.
Yes.
Okay, act like you're not married. All right,
Okay. Act like I'm not married. Okay, that's
act
gonna
like you're
be
not married.
a
All right,
challenge because
all right. Take your ring out off. Just take your ring off. Okay. Um, and if you was to start over again and act like you don't know the man that you know now,
yeah. Mhm.
um, would money be at the top of your list for a
Mhm.
man today?
Yeah, I wouldn't say at the top. I definitely
Okay.
wouldn't say at the top because I am evolving and I'm in a generation now where I have opportunities to make really whatever I want to make, especially as an
Mm,
entrepreneur.
mm,
Um, so that's not something that I necessarily feel dependent on, like
mm,
that. That is like the thing that's going to help me survive,
mm-hmm,
or thrive.
mm-hmm,
My goal really is, how can we really understand what each other truly desire in a relationship and give it to each other. So the only way
mm,
that can occur is if we communicate. So we have to
mm,
talk about what do we value, and a big point for me in terms of like what I value. I value togetherness. I value family. Um, I value definitely communication, but I am a quality time type of person. So that can occur
yeah,
without a ton of money.
yeah,
I mean, I think about like families over the years spent tons of quality time together with no money. So
they did.
money, you don't need money for quality time.
Yeah.
That's for sure. Now you need money to live, and to survive. But if I'm making a significant amount of money, and maybe you are making less, but in my mind, because I value togetherness, we're putting it together. So no matter what, we're putting it together. That means that we can achieve the things that we want to achieve or do the things that we want to do. Because together we should be able to make that work. So it just all depends on what you value.
And that's if he has the same goals you have, right?
Yeah. So, and when I say same goals, I don't want to say same on everything in terms of, I think that there needs to be goals where they complement each other.
Yeah.
So we may not have the exact same goals. So
Mm-hmm.
I may have a goal to say, you know what, I want to start investing in small businesses. I want to see small businesses win. And, he's like, okay, that's not really my thing, but I see where you're going with this. And I like where you're going. I see you got your plan laid out. I trust that. Let's pool our dollars together and invest in it. So it may not be necessarily his biggest goal, but if his goal is like, I want to see us both do something together or to win or to support you, then yeah, that's a little bit different than us having the exact same goal. I don't necessarily need us to have the exact same goal all the time. And that goes for him too. He may have things that he's really into or that he has a goal for. Just help me to understand it. I just want to understand it, see how can I support it. As long as it's not anything that stifles the family, or puts us in a precarious position that we just don't see a way out of. But then again, that comes with time and communication and really, understanding each other in that perspective. So
Do you think the common woman agree with your state, your stance on he don't really have to have a lot of money? I mean, because you're working, you don't really need a man for the money part. It sounds like you're alluding to. I built my own empire. I don't really need the man for that. I would like for him to have something, but I'm looking to more where my heart is the quality
mhm.
time. Do you think
Yeah.
today's woman feels the same way you do?
I know that there are some, but I feel like with the messaging that we get a lot of times through
Ah,
media,
mm-hmm,
and that's why I said it's really important to know yourself. Because anytime media pops up, I should not be jumping on the bandwagon of
ah,
everything that pops up.
mm-hmm,
But I will say this though, even though I may say I don't like really using the word like I don't need, a man for anything. Like I don't really like the way that sounds because I feel like we're in a world with people for a reason. We're
But
we're
don't
not
we
doing,
hear that a lot? We keep hearing successful women say, "I don't need a man to do anything for me." Are
yeah.
they really telling the truth?
No.
I didn't
Okay,
think so.
so
Thank God. Thank you, Jesus.
so
Somebody finally
so
told the truth.
so this is the thing. I mean, like if we could just go back to the basics, like if we could just go back to just from a biological perspective, we're gonna take all feelings,
Come on.
emotions,
Come on.
everything out of it. Okay. We know for a fact studies have shown that men are natural providers. There's something that occurs when they feel that they cannot provide, even if they don't have the words to it, if they can't express it, it will come out in some form of expression. Point blank, period. Okay.
Totally agree.
It just is what it is, right?
Oh,
And so
totally.
even if I am in a position where I could financially do some things, I'll be honest, I still feel that two is better than one.
Yeah.
So at the same token, like even if I have this money over here, yeah, but your income, we can also do XYZ, or this can open up another avenue for us to do something even more, to start another business or help people, or whatever it is that we want to do. So I don't want to say like I don't need, because I still highly benefit from living in a two income household. That it would be a whole different story right now if it was just me working, or if it was just my husband working. And so the two incomes do help significantly. And I feel like that also can bring about togetherness too. And so even though, yes, I'm glad that I'm in a position where I can think for myself, I'm educated, I can start a business, but also we have to understand your partner provides something unique as well. You don't have everything together by yourself. Your partner has some things too that they can contribute to your marriage or your relationship. So it's yeah, the independence thing is huge, and I think it blinds us in a sense, and it puts so much credit on ourselves,
Yes.
and it brings about a lot of ego.
Hmm.
And so we have to kind of get out of that if we want to move forward, like as a society where we're doing things together. So.
Man, you brought up some really great points here, in the comment sections are commenting around it. Bears Bolton says the whole independent woman thing is a trap for divide and conquer. Also, men got to be found handling his business. So I see where he going there. Minister Butch Jones says, I guess I'm from the oldest separation generation. He says, where the man is responsible for all the bills, for money is her money is extra. Am I outdated? Well, Butch. Well, in today's perspective, yes, you are outdated, but in my world, you're not. I'm actually still old school. I
Mhm.
actually, I still, because I come from my mother and father generation where I saw my father take care of everything. I'm talking financially.
Mhm.
As long as my mother was home making sure that the home was taken care of and the children were taken, because there was seven of us, she couldn't work. It was nine of us, I'm sorry. She couldn't go out there and work and then be taking care of us. So my father and my mother had an agreement. Here is the important part. They had an agreement that, so today's woman don't need to stay home and take care of the house and kids, what have you. They have an agreement that she works and then he works, and then they put their monies together. So help me out here. Is a successful relationship about the agreement, or is it about what society has to say about it? Again, Butch says, am I old school? Yes, he old school. Me, if I was married, I would like to take care of most. If I have to, I'll be in a position to take care of all of the finances. Yes, because I'm old school. But the newer school in me is saying, man, but if you had a job, man, that would sure help me. It would be such a blessing. But I would not force her to work
Yeah.
if she didn't want to. That's the old school in me. My
Yeah.
brother Larry is different. My brother
Mhm.
Rodney is different. You understand? So help us out here. Should it be about the agreement, or should it be about what society has said?
Well, society is fickle, so that
Yeah.
already
Yeah.
that already like
Yeah.
cancels that out for me. But yeah, it should always be about the agreement. Like it should always be about what is it that you two feel like is best for you. Because again, okay, so Butch says, am I outdated? I mean, according to current societal norms, it's outdated. But
Absolutely.
like you mentioned before, so it doesn't mean that that's a negative thing for
Right.
Butch, because I feel
Right.
like if that is your mentality, that's okay to have that mentality.
Mm-hmm.
Those values are there for a reason, and connecting with someone else that values that too is like icing on the cake,
Yeah.
because there's an understanding through that agreement. But yeah, I definitely feel that the agreement needs to be priority before anything, because if you're feeling one way and your partner is feeling another way, well, we know that's going to create some heavy friction. um, so yeah, I don't see anything wrong with that if that's what you desire. But then at the same time, because you have people growing up in different generations, I think about my kids and their thought process around
Yeah.
a lot of different things,
Yeah.
very different from me.
Oh
And
yes.
I've seen myself as a very open-minded person, but
Mm-hmm.
them growing up in this time,
Mm-hmm.
they see things very differently.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Not saying anything is right or wrong, but I would say it doesn't always align with how I think,
Yeah.
and how I feel. But they can only adapt to what is in front of them, the
Yeah.
society at large. And so yeah, it's a balancing act, and that's why I really, when I'm working with couples, I always say I'm working with modern couples, because in
Mm-hmm.
modern society we're trying to still understand and how to work through marriage in modern society, because we think about what marriage was built upon, and what it was originally about. Then you're trying to merge that into this society. That's not the easiest thing to do
That's not the
for a lot
easiest
of
thing to do. Donald Smith said, "Wow, does that disqualify me because I'm real old school?" Blessings to you.
different
He's
Israel.
over there in Israel right now. Boy, that Donald, that Donald. Hippolyta of Zion says she's answering Butch here. Okay, and she says, "I'm with you. The man should lead, provide, and protect." She says, however, when he is unable to, there's nothing wrong for a woman to step up to the plate until the man is back on his feet.
Yeah.
What Hippolyta did, excuse me if I'm pronouncing your name wrong, I think was well balanced.
Mhm.
Because if Butch is old school and he's saying I need to take care of everything that's just in me as a man, as a provider, let me do this, and then something happens to him, what she's saying is, okay, lady, don't you just sit at home and do nothing. The bills continue even when a man is off his feet. You've got to pick up the slack somehow, do something. You become the Proverbs 31 woman who was doing stuff. She wasn't just at home bored watching the cartoons, or watching As the World Turns, twirling her thumbs. That Proverbs 31 woman was amazing. I mean, she was a builder, she was a producer, and people knew who she was. She was a career woman. All right, so she didn't necessarily work a 9 to 5. She was the 9 to 5. You know what I mean? And I saw that when my father broke his leg. He fell off of the top of a building and fell to the bottom floor, and shattered his leg, and he was in a wheelchair. And my father, and I'm bringing this up because of what you said about the statistics showing that a man is inept to provide, and when you take that away from him, things change in his mind, his psyche.
Yeah.
He struggles with that. My father turned into the meanest, most angriest man I'd ever seen while he was in that wheelchair. And I was a teenager at the time, and I could not understand why this man was so angry. He just turned completely like the Incredible Hulk, and I didn't know until I got older. Oh, wait a minute! His his ability to provide was taken away from him, and he turned angry, and he didn't know what to do with that. You know, um, being in a jail in a sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, he couldn't provide for his family because that's what he was used to doing. At that time he had 9 children at that time. How am I going to provide? My mother didn't have the skills to make that kind of money. So now he's in a quagmire because how do we pay these bills? And I'm down, and he just started throwing stuff. I mean, get over here, boy. I didn't know who he was. So I agree with you wholeheartedly that the if you take that away from a man, his trajectory changes, and he can turn into a Hulk. Have you
Yeah.
witnessed that? Have you seen that in your counseling sessions?
Oh yeah, and even too, I had a situation again, like you said, due to confidentiality, but I had a situation with a couple where some, bills kind of fell behind, um, and it wasn't really communicated from husband to wife. And so wife found out about it after the fact. We're significantly behind now. But when it was time to address it and really kind of get to the root of it, and I talked with them about scheduling and sitting down and really like, let's open these bills together. Let's create a plan of action, things like that. It was really hard for him at that time. And I didn't want to assume anything. So I did ask, is there a particular reason why this is a challenge, for you to talk about it? And he's always mentioned that he's not an really emotional person. He's always said that. But this particular time, he said, that makes me very emotional, which threw me for a minute because I
Wow.
was like, all this time, we haven't
Wow.
really been that emotional, but the
Wow.
money topic was, and obviously, again, just due to confidentiality, I won't go into all the details, but as we continue to uncover, let's say that, uncover some things and really get to the root, a lot of that did stem from I'm unable to carry my weight financially
Wow.
in this marriage right now. And that's a struggle for me. And that's not the easiest thing to talk about. So that's why I really say, just being able to understand our partners plays such a huge role. I'm not saying that it solves all the problems, but when you understand where a person is coming from, I would hope that it creates a little bit more empathy in you. When you don't understand what your partner is going through and you only see the reaction, then you can't really understand, like, this is where this reaction is coming from. I'm not saying the reaction is okay. I'm just
Yeah.
saying that this is where it's stemming from. So let's start with that. How do we work through that?
Yeah.
And then we can move, forward through
No, that's
that.
good. Where does it stem from? Find the root cause of this. Joyce Griffin says, shouldn't that be discussed? She says a just in case scenario. I had to do
Mhm.
that for my husband when he was alive. At first, he struggled, and we had many discussions until he was able to understand we were as one.
Yeah.
So the communication and discussion is extremely vital. But
Yeah.
but but that one beat says, "Hey y'all, does modern ladies really believe that?" The one I come across just want to be like a usher, collecting the offering plate. All right. I
They
mean,
just
so
want the money.
yeah, they just want the money. They just want the bag. All right. So, but can't he decipher or wade through the bad seed and get to the good seed? Because there's a lot of women out there who are not like today's modern woman. I mean, isn't that up to the man himself whether he want a woman who's going to always be looking at his bag instead of looking at his heart? Ain't that his choice? Uh-oh. Oh, I see the face. I see the ADL face.
I promise I'm only going to quote Corey Holcomb one more time.
One more.
One more
Come
time.
on. Come on, Corey. I'm going to have him on the show.
He was just saying that sometimes, especially when men have money, nice amount of it, they may not always be the best at vetting the woman.
That's good.
And it just is what it is, right? This is
Yeah.
not every guy, this is not every wealthy man. It's just that, like, now, one thing I would say about the video that you played earlier is, if, and this is for anyone, when money is there, and there's usually typically not an issue for certain things, you don't have to really be creative. You don't have to
True.
really think through a lot of things because the money is there. It's like, I have the money to buy or do whatever I want to do. I don't have to think about it. Okay.
Yeah.
If something breaks down, okay, I can just pay for somebody to fix it. But when
Yeah.
I don't have the money, I have to sit there and really do the research, figure it out on my own to make this work. And
Yeah.
so a lot of times in relationships or meeting women, it's like, yeah, I don't really feel like putting too much time and energy trying to decipher a vet. But one thing I do see is she fine.
Yep.
So, and I
Yep.
got money.
I got
So I
money.
know.
I got money. So this is why we said earlier that this woman's video, Olivia, is
Yeah.
that her name?
Hmm.
How what she said can be true
Yeah.
in many cases because I do have all this money. I can, and so what happens is mentally, I feel that I can get any woman I want. These old statement that uh, you can buy. There's a price for everything. I believe that's the statement. There's a price for everything. You can just pretty much buy whatever you want to. And many of the billionaires in America feel the same way. I mean, look at the brother who just bought Twitter. I mean, he just felt that he can buy it and he can turn it to wherever he want to turn it, and he realized that the world went against his elitist, authoritarian way of thinking he can get whatever he want to. So I think I mean I agree with you that men with a lot of money may not be the best at selecting the
Not all
women.
the time,
Not all the
but
time. Not all the time. But in
but
some
you know what
cases,
too?
yeah.
I say this about women too. Like, even if you feel like you have strong morals, values, integrity, you never know what you're gonna do until you're in a situation. So say for instance, you were pretty well off or you were doing pretty well for yourself financially as a woman, but then say you came up on some really hard times and an
Yeah.
attractive, wealthy man, approached you and said some cool things, some nice things. I'm not excusing it or saying it's okay. It's just that it's easier for us to say what we wouldn't do
Yep.
when we're on this side.
Yep.
Until you're in that situation, you really just don't know what you're going to do, especially if you trying to provide for your kids or you got bills stacking up and someone is here and they like, I got it. I'll take care of all that. I just need you to sit there and look pretty and do what I tell you to do. That can maybe sound convincing depending
Yeah.
on where you are in your life. So you
Yeah.
never know.
Yeah. All right. So let's cap this up.
Mhm.
I like you, Angie D. Lee. I want to date you. Okay. Play this role with me. All right.
Okay, I'm following.
Follow me. I mean, I've been checking you out. I mean, you've been coming to church, and I mean, see you on the job. I've been checking you out on the job, or I see you visit that restaurant a lot. I've been checking
Mhm.
you out. All right. I need to, see if you were interested maybe in going out with me. All right. You and I go out. You
Mhm.
found an interest in me.
Okay. Hmm.
So there's a mutual interest. Yeah,
Yep.
I'll go out. Because if you didn't have an interest, you wouldn't go out with me.
Exactly.
Okay.
Right.
From this moment on, help me out, Angie D. We're dating and we're going on several dates. When did the money discussion pop up or do it? And who
Mm,
starts it?
that's a good question. And when you say the money discussion, are you saying just what we make or what are our views on money? Which direction are you going
Yep.
with that?
The answer is yep.
Well, I think a good place to start, is when you all are getting to know each other. It's like, what do you do for a living? I think that's a
Yep.
common,
That's good.
question.
Good.
you know Not to say that that's gonna be the determining factor of anything, but at least
Mm-hmm.
it maybe give you an idea.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna say idea,
Okay.
because you don't know how much that person makes, but that can kind of give you an idea of maybe what ballpark we're looking at. So
Okay.
if you say you're a teacher, you've been teaching for the past 10 years,
Okay.
but then someone else says, I'm an entrepreneur and I manage 5 different locations, spa locations. Yeah, their income is probably going to be a little different,
Probably. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
probably.
Probably. Yeah. 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 Unless they're horrible with money, but yeah,
Right.
probably.
And you need to find that out
Yeah.
later
You
on in
probably
the
need to.
conversation.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So the discussion of money pops up. Well, the assumption of
Yeah.
success is based off of what I do for a living.
For a lot of people, that's all it could really be,
Mhm.
because everybody's definition too of success is different. Because like we were saying earlier, I could have started a business 10 years ago, and I feel like I'm very successful because I've seen how much growth I've had in 10 years.
Mhm.
But the person you're talking to may not still think that that's successful. Well,
Mhm.
10 years and you're only making 95,000. Like,
Yeah.
oh, you should, but for that person, they could be like, that's huge for me, because I'm able to support myself.
Yeah.
I'm making enough to take care of the things that I need to take care of, and I'm happy, and my customers are happy. So that's success to them. So yeah, so it's I think during those conversations you can kind of decipher, how they respond, what they think of success too. What's your definition of success? You can even ask those questions, because that's very telling when a person starts to define what they feel is success to them, whether it's business or in relationships.
Yeah. Now, but can a man make $200,000 a year and still be broke?
Oh yes,
So that
definitely.
so this is my point here. I mean, because just because a man is making a couple a figure a few zeros that in his salary, don't mean a hill of beans, because he could be just as broke as a poor man because he
Hmm.
is so heavily in debt that now you're looking at him driving a Lamborghini and he's $200,000-300,000 a year. He's got a big house, but he could lose it all like that
Yeah.
because he's horrible with his money. He could be like a Donald Trump who filed for bankruptcy at least 15 times.
Yeah.
Okay, and I know that bankruptcy doesn't always mean that you're done. It just means restructuring.
Yeah.
But some have to do bankruptcy because they are completely broke. All right. So I think money, when you focus on it, can be a problem because mentally, what happens is you get enthralled with the money discussion, but yet you said quality time and some other things there becomes a missing factor. You almost dismiss it because now you're thinking about, oh wow, he can provide for me. Then your relationship can start there, and you got this mindset of provision, and it'll go all the way for months and months with the provision part and not necessarily the other part that is sustaining the relationship. Because once he loses money, if he loses his money, you have nothing else that was rooted in the beginning of the relationship.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. And I mean, like, even with money, even if I'm not saying that, six figures or more is a prerequisite or like a qualification for being with me, I do want to know that we do have some similar values, though, when it comes to money, just money management, because even if you're not making a lot, but we're sharing our money, I would hate to look in the account one day and it's negative, because you have really bad money management skills too. So even though I may not necessarily be requiring that you make all this money, I want to know that you have some sound judgment though when it
Yes,
comes to the finances. Yeah.
sound judgment.
Yeah.
Lynette said her son said she squeezed a buffalo off a nickel. That was hilarious. Elder Riley Jones had a question here. At what point is money a topic in a relationship? I think aren't we talking about that right now?
Hmm.
If marriage is a factor, or no, you just want to date. At what point is money a topic in the relationship? And I think that was my initial question to you.
Yeah.
When it become a factor, and so I mean there is no particular date that's written in book that you after 6 weeks you got to be talking about money.
Yeah, it's so hard to say that, and I
Absolutely.
think that pigeonholes you too.
Yeah.
You have like set time frames and
Mm-hmm.
scripts and things like that because
Mm-hmm.
it really, really depends on the people, it depends on
Yep.
what's going on.
Yep.
And that's why discernment, like that is so important to be able to be intuitive and to discern a lot of different things in which I don't think a lot of people give enough time to
Yeah.
mature in
Yeah.
those areas so you'll know how to really approach and when to approach, situations too.
I
Yeah.
agree. Joyce says, is he pernicious? There it is. I thought she said promiscuous. Pernicious. Is he a giver? Now that's important right here. Does he make
Hmm.
good financial decisions? I like that, Joyce Griffin. Is he a giver? All right. Last question for you, Angie. How important, if you and I are dating, is um my frugal, my what's the word, benevolence, or how important would that be to you?
Now, just giving, just not
Giving,
just financial or
yeah, well,
right.
financially giving,
Yeah.
um, first, okay,
Right.
and then sometimes you can tie if a person gives financially, usually he gives in other areas as well.
Hmm.
Usually,
Yeah. Yeah.
how important is
Well, like,
that to you?
I mean, it's important. Okay, so let me see how I can break this down. Because see, this is the thing. Again, if he's in a certain tax bracket, that I know that his job or whatever his business,
Ah,
there are
good
just some
point.
things I'm not gonna expect.
Good point. Good point. Okay.
So, and it's not in a bad way. He could actually be saving. for certain things or whatever. But if I'm just really feeling a trip to Bali, or Bora Bora or something, and I know the two of us going, we're gonna easily spend 15 grand or more. Yeah, if you're making 50, I'll be honest, that's not a sound,
Yeah, you can't
you
do that.
know, right, and that's not something that I'm expecting. But if you know that I don't know, if you know that I'm a fan of a certain artist that I love to hear in concert,
Hmm.
or a dress I've been eyeing that's probably like maybe $60 or something, and that's
Hmm.
in your budget. I think, yeah, I would love for you to get that from me, But it's just certain things that I'm not even going to ask, because then if a man is really into you, he's gonna want to do everything that he can to make you happy, and it destroys him if he can't do it, and he knows that that's something that really makes you happy. So I don't want to put you in a position where you feel like you're not able to satisfy me or please me in that way, because that's not a priority for me. Bora Bora is not a priority. Would I like to go? Yes. Is it a priority? No.
No, that's good.
So,
And you should not put him in a position where he's
right.
struggling, try to just take
Yeah.
care of you,
Hmm.
because that's insensitive. It is inconsiderate,
It is.
knowing that he only makes 50, but yet you want to go to Bora Bora.
Yeah.
All right. Well, no, use your Bora Bora money and you go. Now I'll be at the house painting. Rodney says, well, what am I saying? What he's saying is, do you talk about money if it's just a relationship and not intending for marriage? But now you got to. I think it's like, do you know when is it intended for marriage? You know what I'm saying? When do you come to this point where I'm going to marry her?
Yeah. So if it's just okay, so again, if it's just a relationship, are we just talking about, like, we go out a few
Casual,
times,
yeah,
yeah, and we're just kicking it?
yeah.
Because if we're kicking it, yeah, I don't need to know what's
I
in
don't,
your
yeah, I don't need to
wallet.
know. I'm all about just a
Yeah.
social, you're
Hmm.
my arm candy. I just want some sex every now and then, go to movies, stuff like
Hmm.
that. I really don't care. I got your body. That might
Yeah.
be in the man's point of view. It may not be in the woman's point. I don't know. I'm just talking from experience, okay?
Yeah. No,
But if,
I align with that too.
yeah,
I don't think that that's my place, to
yeah,
know about your finances, because that first of all, that doesn't affect me
no,
directly, So, but yeah, definitely, we're talking long term, marriage. Yes, that's going to affect both of us, very much so.
absolutely. And it can. In my book, Lola would be that girl who just casual. I'm just having sex with her. I really don't
Mhm.
care what her financial. Now, let me twist this though. If Lola is a very poor woman, I do care a little bit because she's going to be pulling from me. All right. And so every time I come over and she's always needing me to put a couple dollars on the table, that can be an issue. All right. The money can be an issue because she's always pulling me. I've got some, when you are a social media man or woman, you will have some people who are going to ask you for money every week. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, well, yeah, because they think
They
they see.
they see or they think
Yes.
that I'm wealthy because I got such a clean content. I wear nice suits. They think I'm wealthy. So what happens is they go in my inbox and say, "Hey, listen, my my phone is off, and I'm wondering if my light bill is due, and I'm wondering. Okay, listen, the spirit will tell me if these people really need the help. So I help people all the time. The bunkers are some of the most giving people in the whole world. So they have given countless thousands of dollars to people who are in struggle, right? But then you got those people who the same person keeps coming back, and there is no romantic relationship whatsoever. You've never even met them, okay? But they keep coming back day in and day out. These are the relationships I'm talking about there. When it comes to having some kind of either casual dating or you all are having sex or what have you. Her finances can then be an issue, can it not?
Yeah, I mean, if you're paying her to interact, Yeah, you might want to have some dollars. Because if not, you're not gonna see it no more.
Yeah, you're not gonna see it. All right. So I'm being real. You know, we're real on our show. We're always real. You got to look at every scenario. Every
Yeah.
scenario. It's
Mm-hmm.
not about my show's not always about what's right or wrong. It's about what
Mm-hmm.
is,
Mm-hmm.
and what
Yeah.
is.
Mm-hmm.
If based off of Rodney Jones's question, when do you bring up the conversation of finance? Is it
Yeah.
while you're dating? Well, I say no, unless you start falling in love with this girl or this woman and thinking that a long term relationship is going to happen, which will end in marriage. Then yeah, I need to know, sis, what's your credit score?
Like what bracket are we talking about?
Man, where's your bracket? I mean, if you like 630, 640, you know, I can work with that. Okay? Maybe you just made a big purchase and some dings happen. I can work with that. But if we talking 420,
Mm-hmm.
man, I think I may need to rethink this whole process. Or maybe I should not be your mate. I should be your financial
Yeah.
advisor.
Hey, you know,
Yeah, that's important. That's important.
it is.
So yeah, so thank you, girl. Listen, Rodney says a Jay's potato chips relationship, they always come back for more. Yeah, that's so true. That's so true. Not talking about a gold digger. Do women really do that? Yes, Lynette, they really do that.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. We have
Yeah.
some of the bunkers are so the Lord has kept them.
That's
Okay.
good. That's good
The
though.
Lord has kept them, and they have not experienced a lot of things that maybe you and I have seen and touched and tasted and all these things. All right, they have not seen it, and so their purity shows in the comment section because the scripture says to the
But
pure.
that's the that's the beauty though. Like
Yeah,
to even I just think it's beautiful when we can be in a world where we don't have to think about the worst case scenario or the dark
yeah,
side,
yeah,
but
yeah.
but it does exist. Let's just say that
It
for
does
some
exist.
people they
Hmm.
do experience those
Yep,
things. Yeah.
they do. They absolutely do, and I've seen them all. That's why I wrote about 4 women. I've seen them all. So when I make my scenarios, I know what I'm talking about. Um, hold on. So hold on. I thought I had your book near me.
Oh, I'm like, what are you looking for?
I had it right here. Well, she's got 2 books, y'all. I had it on the table, and I think I moved it away. I don't want to get up and walk around. But she has 2 books. You all go to her website, and you can find a little bit about her, more about her. Those of you who are new to the show, Angie D. Lee. You can either Google the name or go to the website www
AngieDLee.com.
angiedlee.com, and you'll see all the things that she do. She may be able to help you all in your relationships as well, whether you're single or whether you're dating or whether you're married. She gives really great advice. I would not have anybody on the Sirwalterj Jones show if I did not trust them. I don't care if I
Oh,
know him or not. I mean, I know her, but that doesn't mean she fits the show. Just because I've known her for years, but she fits the show, even though I just so happen to know her. Okay, and if you're really into the conversation, um, well, Lynette, this some of the books may not be for you, so I'm trying to be some some of the material that she writes and I may be writing may not be for you. Okay, stick to the
or,
word.
we could just say entertainment,
Yeah,
so Lynette, if just kind of want to be entertained and step
yeah, yeah,
outside.
yeah. Lynette said, "Stop that." I'm trying to protect my sweet Lynette Thomas. That woman is so sweet to me. All right, so some of you may be Veronica. Listen, you might not want to purchase some of the things we write. Oh, Lynette said I can read her books. Oh, all right, girl. We gonna
That's
send you
right.
a copy. We gonna see which one you want because because they both gonna make you say, "Hey, Deacon Bobo at the church, can I talk to you?" Hi, you gonna be calling one of the deacons at the church. She said, "I'm calling you." Oh man, yeah, yeah. All right. So if you want to know a little bit more about things outside of the traditional church environment and wonderful Christian books, get her books and sat with your man and y'all read it. And I guarantee you, if you were looking to have any more children, it's gonna happen. God getting ready to shake up your womb. He's getting ready to shake it up. All right, y'all. I gotta get out of here. It's lunchtime for me, Angie. I appreciate you, girl.
No problem. Thanks for having me, as always.
You all right by me? We've got one more show on the for you and I on the 19th, I believe. All right,
Mhm.
and then that will be her last show with us. The Lord is really moving her into her clientele is growing, and so in January, the 2023, that is, she's getting ready to just blow up, and it's going to be the time where I'm going to have to call this person, and this person so that they can get the word to Angie that I want to say hello. All right, I'm going to go through all of the ranks, call her secretaries and administratives just to say hi. All right, so y'all come back and on the 19th, and we'll be talking about maybe we said we were going to talk about the erogenous uh, points on the
Oh,
body.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Somebody had a
Steamy.
yeah, yeah. Let's talk about something steamy. Let's end the year with something steamy and hot. Let's go hot. Since Lynette is a grown girl now, she big girl now. Oh, Lynette, we're gonna get hot for you on the 19th. All right. I appreciate you, girl.
Thank you. Have a good one.
You too. Bye bye.
Thanks. Bye.
Y'all. That was that crazy Angie D. Lee. I always enjoy her. You never know what she gonna do next or say next. All right. So we got one more show with her and we are done. So if you want to hear more about her, go to the website or go back to our shows on YouTube or Facebook and type in her name and my name, and you'll see all of our past shows together. Amen. Hey, that's right, Maria. Always a pleasure to hear from her. Mm-hmm. I love picking on Lynette. Tomorrow is our Zoom class. The bunkers will be with us tomorrow at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, and we'll be learning about spiritual gifts. What are the spiritual gifts, and do you have them? Do you have one or several? And prove it to me. Tomorrow, I want you to prove it to me if you have any spiritual gifts. Okay. All right. If you're new to the show, hey, thanks for coming. We talk about a lot of stuff that probably your traditional church won't talk about. We do because we're human. We feel like you all do. We have hearts. We have sexual organs. Everything the same as the world do. So, and y'all organs, if they're working, they say hello every now and then, and so we talk about it. We talk about it. The book, the Bible, have one book in it that y'all were told not to read called the Song of Solomon or the Song of Songs, and they said that is a theological. It is one of the most brilliant books of writings in world history. I can prove it to you. I can prove it to you. I'm gonna see if I can find it, and then I'm gonna go. I was supposed to be gone, y'all, but it is a masterpiece. Solomon, the Song of Solomon, is considered a masterpiece, and you were told not to read it. All right, what does it say here? Pure love. It says here. The song is the best of. All right, I'm reading out of this book here. Okay, my Bible here. The song is the best of all songs, a literary work of art and a theological masterpiece. In the 2nd century, one of the greatest Jewish rabbis said, in the entire world, there was nothing to equal the day on which the Song of Songs was given to Israel. The song itself is like its favorite fruit, a pomegranate, alive with color and full of seeds. Quite unlike any other biblical book, it merits special consideration as a biblical archetype, which presents anew the basic realities of man's relationships. That's the Song of Solomon. You've never heard that before, have you? You were told not to read it, but it is a masterpiece by those who gave us this book, the writers. Yet you won't read it because, like I said at the beginning of the show, Mother Mayhem is in your bedroom telling y'all you can't suck this, you can't suck that. You can't do the 6, nor can you do the 9. I'm telling you, you can't do this, you can't, and she ain't found that nowhere. So we talk about that stuff on the show. Tell Mother Mayhem, get out my bedroom. You don't belong there. All right, y'all. Take care of yourselves and one another. We'll see y'all on the other side of the world tomorrow, Zoom class. If you want to be a part of the class, hit us up. The moderators are putting the emails and stuff in the comment section. We only have one moderator on YouTube right now. The other 2 are actually working. They have jobs. So Rogers is retired, and so she's the moderator. And YouTube and on Facebook, look like on both Facebook accounts. So she's working like a Hebrew slave. All right. See y'all tomorrow. Love you. Take care of yourselves and one another. Let's pray for Tanya. All right. I'm be looking out for who was that? Who hit me up? A few people hit me up, and let's continue to pray for our dear bunkers because they. Or Ruth Chester. Let's check up on her this morning, would you please? Tanya Parrott has a reveal on Wednesday. Let's pray for her. All right. Blessings to you, Pastor Donald Smith over in Israel. I love you, brother. Let's have dinner or lunch or something. I do miss you. Amen. Talk to you all later. Bye-bye, Charlene. Bye-bye.
Goodbye. 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 Enjoy yourself. Bye. Goodbye. 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 Bye. Well, goodbye. 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 Goodbye.
Fellas, does it seem like you can't get a good woman? Ladies, wonder why you can't keep a man? Then read The 4 Women That Men Desire, Volume 1, by Sirwalterj to figure out how to break the cycle. Go to Amazon.com to get your copy today.